Shockingly, that he had a huge brain cyst. It was really terrifying, and I felt really sorry for him. How could this child carry this lesion in the brain for so many years? Everything was difficult for him. Even simple sitting up, opening his eyes was a torture for him. There was severe pain in his head, and he would just scream out loud because there was just nothing he could do. I look at him, I don't know what his future is going to be like. I was fearful that he's going to have a very bleak future.
Hello everyone, my name is Suen. Welcome back to the Life Turnaround series where real struggles become unbelievable comebacks. Let's welcome Dr. Lau.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Lau Yen Shuang.
Hello Dr. Lau, thank you so much for being here today. So now let's rewind a little bit. When did you first notice something was a little bit different about Howard?
We started noticing there were some problems at the age of 2 when people of 2 years old usually would start already speaking, indicate what they want. But whenever he wanted something, he would just point using his fingers. And if he doesn't get it, he would just throw tantrums. So after a while, we realized that, there's actually a speech delay in him.
So what did you do instead?
So being a medical doctor, the first thing that came to my mind was that anybody who has any neurological disorder like a speech probably have an organic brain disease. So with a lot of fear and, I didn't want my child to go through a brain surgery. I was having a lot of self-denial. I didn't want to know if he had anything like a brain tumor in his brain. So I just thought that maybe he's still young. Therefore, I put him through an intensive speech therapy program, physiotherapy. Eventually, his speech improved, but he was also still having some problems with balance, gait, and coordination. Until 2023, when he was about 11 years old, when one day he woke up and he told us that he was just feeling uncomfortable, that he was having this headache, and this thing prolonged for about 2 weeks. So an immediate MRI of the brain, shockingly that he had a huge brain cyst measuring about 7 by 4 centimeter at the temporal part of the brain. It was really terrifying, and I felt really sorry for him. I'm thinking, how could this child carry this lesion in the brain for so many years without even complaining? So in a way, I felt guilty as a mom. Have I not done, did I do something wrong? I quickly went to the washroom and cried my heart out. And until I was better, I wiped my tears and I came back to him with a cheerful upfront, and I said, don't worry, everything will be fine. On one aspect, we were thankful that the brain cyst gave us an answer of why he was having a lot of speech delay and in learning and problems and so on. But on the other hand, the cyst was so huge that it was compressing the brain cells. We had no choice but to actually remove it through surgery. But because he was still young, the only way is that to actually put a shunt and drain the fluid out from the cyst to relieve the pressure off the brain.
So, and from what I know, after the surgery, it wasn't over yet, right?
So we'd expected him to actually immediately wake up because it was a simple surgery and the pressure has already been reduced. But unfortunately, for the next 3 days, he couldn't even open his eyes. So he was constantly drowsy. He said he couldn't even open because the minute he opened, he would feel as if everything was spinning around him. We had to put him through another brain scan, which unfortunately revealed a new bleeding, which was on the other side of the brain. And because the brain is so fragile at the point of time, it was advised for us to just leave it and observe him and just wait for his recovery. So in the home, I was basically his 24 hours nurse. Everything was difficult for him. Even simple sitting up, opening his eyes was a torture for him because the minute he sit up, or the minute he changes his position, there was severe pain in his head and he would just scream out loud because there was just nothing he could do. So I did not expect overnight turnaround. I chant very sincerely to the law of the universe, which is Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, that my son would slowly recover step by step, just by first opening his eyes and slowly being able to at least sit up, feed himself, and things like that.
So you give everything you had, not just as a doctor, but as a mother as well.
Yes, so at that time, it wasn't just a physical exhaustion. There was a lot of mental stress, mental exhaustion as well. I believe the only thing I could do was actually to chant the strongest Daimoku, which is Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, to generate within myself the strongest life force to confront his situation at that point and to be able to take care of him as a carer, that I can be able to understand his needs. Because at that time, he just couldn't tell me what was wrong. And every time he's in pain, he would just scream and shout in pain. Every time when I look at him, I don't know what his future is going to be like. I was fearful that he's going to have a very bleak future. And if he has a bleak future, my future will also be bleak because I will probably have to stop my job and take care of him full time. I remember clearly a guidance that says that even the harshest winter will never fail to turn into spring. So with strong prayers and determination, everything will turn out to be in the most positive way. I no longer chant for academic success, for my child to be a straight-A student, but all I wanted was for him to be a normal child that is able to be independent, to look after himself, most importantly.
So how did the chanting support you during that time?
The chanting definitely helped me to generate the endurance that I needed to take care of my child. On the other hand, when medicine couldn't help, when nothing else helped, the Daimoku can help to calm him down and give him comfort. So, and slowly I could see improvement. For example, slowly he could support himself. He could sit up and feed himself. He could go to the toilet by himself. And after a while, he's now able to go to school as well.
Wow, that must have felt like watching spring finally arrive after a long, long winter.
Yeah, it was definitely a relief. Unfortunately, after 6 months, he came back one day and he had very high fever and abdominal pain. So at that time, we had to rush him again to the hospital. We found out that he had very severe infection, which has spread to all his internal organs, so his liver and spleen and surrounding his heart as well, tracking up the neck and almost going towards the head. So that was something very worrying. The surgery has to be done to remove the current shunt to prevent the infection from spreading up to the brain. So it's like another nightmare. But thankfully, during the surgery, the surgeon was able to find the source of the infection because they found a lot of pus from the chest wall. And after cleaning and draining everything, immediately after the surgery, he actually showed a very good positive recovery. And after about a few days, he was able to be discharged well.
So how about the cyst?
In fact, the cyst is still there. We're very grateful that when we repeated the scan after a few months, the size of the cyst has actually shrunken quite a bit to a size which is much smaller than the original size. And the bleeding which was there originally has also disappeared fully. And this, I believe, is the power of the mystic law.
It's very good to hear that. So now he can live like a normal person?
Yes, he can run, he can cycle, he can even rock climb. So looking back, when I think back of the time that I was looking after him in the hospital, never in my mind would I imagine that this child of mine would be able to do sports activity like, even rock climbing. I would be just so thankful that he's able to just get up from bed and feed himself and go to the toilet. But with strong prayers and determination, we can turn even poison into medicine. And I also remember a guidance given by Soka Gakkai's second president, Jose Toda. All of us deserve to be happy. The person who suffers the most will deserve the greatest happiness. Being a mother, I believe a child's problem is our problem as well. A child's karma is a reflection of our own karma. And our role is to walk the journey together with them. And as we walk through this journey, we will learn and discover ourselves. We will be able to look back and see how much we have grown throughout this journey, how much we have become stronger, how much wisdom we have developed in ourselves, how much stronger we have become. And with these values that we created, we will be able to apply this courage and hope and inner strength in us in whatever circumstances that we come across in future.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lah, for your wonderful sharing. So your story is just not about a medical recovery, it's about love, strength, and the power that comes from never giving up. So you have shown us that no matter how hard the road, a turnaround is always, always possible. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button because together we rise, we grow, and we turn life around. So see you next time. Bye. 拜拜。